not start anything you can't finish.
I never do.
I don't want to put a damper on anything, but you're sure the old goat's out of town?
Yes, I'm sure.
Mother, I did it. Gentlemen, that is exactly the way that Sidney Barstow murdered his wife and her lover. Miss Bush, Mr. Barclay. Now, to test our powers of observation, I have some questionnaire forms here, so if you will be so kind as to step up here, I'll pass them out.
How about these characters? Some convention, huh?
Well, you haven't seen anything yet. After I change, I'm going to the bar. That's where the real action is.
Not me. I've got a happy home. I'm going to keep it that way. Night.
Night.
So this girl says to the beatnik, any friend of Dracula's is a friend of mine.
Holly, Art, Dick. How about you, Mike? Aren't you drinking?
Oh, I'm resting a while.
You're resting.
Oh, Diane, come on in. Join us.
How's Beale making out with his seminar?
He isn't. The actors almost outnumbered the audience.
Poor Beale. Every convention he tries to improve us.
You know, if I had a conscience, I'd be in there listening to him right now.
Yeah, but you haven't got a conscience. Why don't you introduce us, Mike?
Oh, sure. I'm sorry. Diane Bush, Ollie Marshall, Art Thompson, Vic Regan.
Are you competition or a private eye?
I'm both, honey.
I'll buy you a drink.
I'll let you.
Hey, where did Beale find her?
Beale did. I did.
In the course of a private investigation?
Well, that's one way of putting it. She's a local actress, and I'd say she has quite a future.
I see what you mean. Hey, come on back to the party. Now, what's this?
Hey, what's the gag?
That beats walking. Stand by, fellas. A great convention, Shayne. Much better than last year. Congratulations.
Thanks. Glad you like it.
Hey! I thought this was a convention for licensed investigators.
I got my license back. No thanks to you, Landers.
Hey! Take this body to room 1206. All right, fellas, thanks
kook for you.
Decent guys get killed, lose their licenses, but a blackmailing creep like that goes on and on.
You like that, eh? Hello, Willie. I'll dream up some others. What are you doing here?
Anders, I followed you down here. I've got to talk to you.
Look, you might as well have saved yourself the plane fare.
We've appealed Dave's conviction.
Good luck. Hope you get your kid off.
You know we can't unless you retract your evidence.
So long, Willery.
My boy didn't take that $200,000.
Well, judge and jury didn't see it that way.
Because you're a convincing liar.
Kid ought to be out in 3 or 4 years with time off for good behavior.
If Dave isn't cleared of this, you know he'll never live it down. Landers, our lawyer has worked out a way for you to clear Dave. At least come back to New York and discuss it with him.
No.
Landers, I'm not a rich man. I might raise 20 or 25,000.
You trying to buy testimony, Willery? That's against the law. You could wind up in the same cell with that Ivy League son of yours.
I guess not many things matter to you. I thought money was one of them.
Face it, Willery. You're not going to buy your son off, and you're not going to beg him off.
That's it for me. I'm going to hit the sack.
It's early.
Yeah, but it'll be earlier tomorrow morning. I'm going to try to get in some water skiing. Hey, how about joining me, Holly?
No, thanks. But our date's still on at the races?
You bet. Pick you up. How about joining us, Art? Sure. Good. Good night.
Good night, Mike.
Now, it has been my experience as professor of criminology at the State University that an analysis of the knot tied in the strangling cord could be very illuminating to all investigators. Now, which one of you delegates would like to give us such an analysis? Come, gentlemen. Now, let's not be reluctant. You're among friends. It's all for the cause of science. Can I have one volunteer?
No pineapple?
No, Lucy, no pineapple.
You know, I don't understand why Mr. Shayne, with that beautiful apartment of his, wants to stay in a hotel.
Lucy, you just don't dig the male attitude. Convention time is hotel time. A couple of convention crashers, huh?
Oh, Mr. Shayne, I thought you'd want your personal mail.
Oh, thanks. What's your excuse, Jim? Oh, well, I'm covering the convention, but from the looks of things, I could find more news at the public library. Well, what did you expect? Well, the convention of the country's top private eye sounds exciting. Just a bunch of overworked guys trying to unwind a little.
Oh, Mr. Shayne, I thought maybe you'd like me to stay here at the hotel and take notes.
Notes? Oh, no, look, you just go back and mind the shop, huh?
Yes, sir. Bye, Tim.
Bye, Lucy. Hi, Art. Mike, have you seen Landers? No. Art Thompson, Tim Rourke. Careful what you say, he's a reporter. If I said what I was thinking about Landers, you couldn't print it. Well, nice to have met you. What's with him? Thompson and Landers used to be partners. There was a scandal. Some files were lifted from an accounting office, and Thompson was caught with them. He had his license suspended for 18 months. A lot of people seem to think the wrong guy took the rap. When did this happen? A couple of years ago. Come on in. I want you to watch Professor Beale. I've watched Professor Beale.
Holly girl.
Where have you been all afternoon?
What's the matter, baby? You miss me?
Obviously.
Going up?
I'm with you, honey.
12, please.
Dirty backstabbing fink. What do you want, my head on a platter?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You wrote a letter to Amalgamated Mills, didn't you? Didn't you?
Yeah?
You knew with that bigger client I'd be right back on my feet, so you tried to clear the deal.
What are you going to do about it?
I'm gonna kill you.
Art, now stop it. You can't fiddle anything this way. Stop it!
All right, Holly. I'll catch up with you later.
2 seconds. Now a man's deodorant. New Gillette Right Guard. 2 seconds give you 24-hour protection. Dries instantly on contact. Only new Right Guard, the power spray deodorant, can give you complete protection. So fast, so conveniently. Not this messy creams you have to rub in. Not this gummy roll-ons that waste time. Not this hit-and-miss sprays that drip. But this push-button power spray, ease and speed, cool and refreshing. And Right Guard dries on contact. It destroys odor-causing bacteria, checks perspiration, gets right through for complete coverage where odor begins. So remember, with new Right Guard deodorant for men,
2 seconds, give you 24-hour protection.
get Right Guard today at a nearby store. Just 89 cents. Another Gillette product, Foamy, the cream of all instant lathers, regular or menthol.
I can handle it, Thompson. I've done it before. Come on, baby, I'll buy you that drink.
I can sure use it.
What do you have? Scotch, bourbon, rum, fly, any old thing.
A drink.
You're on.
Anything missing?
No.
Why would anyone want to shake down your room?
I don't know.
Maybe they believe those stories about you and the $200,000,
I didn't take that money.
You mentioned a drink.
Yeah, well, I've changed my mind, baby.
Oh, the bum's rush?
No, I gotta clean up this mess.
You know, whoever did this doesn't know you very well, Floyd. If you had the money, you wouldn't be dumb enough to leave it in your hotel room, would you?
Oh, it's dangerous for a man to get too friendly with you, Holly. You look like a woman, but you think like a cop.
dear. In this session, he's going to bludgeon me to death. Hey, but not in this hat. Set me back $20. See you later, honey.
Anyone know that man that just came in? His name's Laurie.
It was his son who was convicted in that $200,000 robbery. You remember, Mike, the big deal in Chicago.
Yeah. I saw him talking to Ladders last night. You know, Floyd did have his dirty fingers in that pie, didn't he?
His story is that he tracked down the man who engineered the grab. The thief went for his gun, and he ended up dead.
And the money was never found.
Speaking of the inimitable Floyd...
Ladders, get out of my way. Ladders, here's $35,000. I can pay you more later. Get out of my way. All right.
Which one of you bird dogs bugged my room? I found a mic in it. It smells like your kind of operation, Thompson.
I've got better things to do than listen in on you.
First you search my room. Then you bug it.
Well, I've had it. So will I. I'm getting lost, Ladders. Room.
Get your hands off me. Feels like he broke a rib.
All right, folks, the floor show's over. Let's go get a drink. Holly, I hate to see you go in there all alone, huh? Who needs this place? Let's go back to the bar. Wait a minute. The bar will always be there. Come on. Why don't they make steam room scores occasional?
Take that up with the Vice Squad.
Now, when I was in Japan... Come on. See you later, Holly. Hi. My friends would like to sweat out some of the spirits. Well, you certainly came to the right place. We got the steam room here, showers, lockers. You'll just be kind enough to give me your name and room numbers. Mike Shayne, 508. Phew. You wanted steam. Good. What's that smell? Eucalyptus. They put a few drops on the rocks up there. Somebody must have thrown in the whole bottle. Yeah. Hey, who's that? Looks like Ladders. Yeah, maybe he passed out. Hey, Ladders! Right smack in the middle. Here's a hint, all about a cigarette with refreshing mint. And mint in tobacco is sure to please. Keeps your taste as fresh and friendly as a southern breeze. Are there any questions, man? So keep your pleasure fresh. Keep smoking Newport filter cigarettes. Newport filter cigarettes. Newport filter cigarettes. Hasn't anybody ever told you not to move the body till the police arrive? No kidding. Small caliber pistol.
Probably a 32.
Hard to tell how long he's been dead. Look, this steam's getting a little too much for me. I'll see you guys outside.
Sure. Let us handle it, Mike.
Oh, Mr. Shayne, the police are on their way.
Oh, good. When did Ladders come in here?
Oh, about an hour ago, I guess.
And who was in there with him?
Nobody.
Well, now look. Somebody went in there and killed him. Whoever it was had to pass you.
Well, as a matter of fact, Mr. Shayne, I did leave the locker room after Mr. Landers came in, but only for about 5 minutes.
Where'd you go?
I had a phone call.
Man or a woman?
I think it was a man. There was a lot of noise. He said he was calling from the ballroom, that a guest had had a heart attack and they needed somebody to give artificial respiration.
And when you got up there, nobody knew anything about it, huh?
That's right. We get a lot of practical jokers at these conventions.
I noticed Landers wasn't wearing one of these.
Oh, well, his locker's right over here. Now, this is his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, when he came in, he wasn't operating so good.
You see.
Well, I'll keep an eye out for the police.
Yeah, you better. One shot did it.
Yeah. Let's get out of here.
Well, did you get it all figured out?
Not quite.
That's a funny thing, Habit. You show an investigator a murder and the old reflexes take over. I said to myself in there, what are you doing? I don't want to send Landers' killer to the chair. I want to congratulate him.
This is where I came in. Gather around, folks. I want to talk to you. You too, Mike.
Sure will. Well, what's on your mind, Will?
My patience gets pretty thin dealing with one private eye. But 200 of you is enough to drive me out of my...
Will Gentry, Ollie Marshall, Vic Regan, Art Thompson.
Hi.
One of the most cooperative police officers I've ever worked with.
He means I let him get away with murder. Almost. I understand you had a fight with a dead man today.
Well, he took a poke at me and I poked him back. That's all there was to it.
In case you don't already know it, I jumped Landers this afternoon. Ollie saw me do it. Well, now, which one of you went through Landers' clothes in the locker?
That loudmouth attendant.
I told you to tip him.
And who opened the gun case and the exhibit in there and checked all the guns?
Just trying to be helpful.
None of them were missing. And like I told Mike, the job was done with a .32 caliber. 16 different visiting detectives quizzed the switchboard girl today. By the time I got to her, she was so confused she didn't know her own name.
We all want the same thing.
Do we? Sure. I just thought if I could save you some time, I'd... look, Mr...
Regan, Vic Regan.
Yes, well, Mr. Regan, I'm not running a contest. I'm trying to conduct a murder investigation. Now, as far as I'm concerned, you're not detectives. You're all suspects. That goes for every one of you.
Well, you want to run us all in, Will? After all, there are 200 of us. That costs the county $4 per person. That's $800 a day.
Yeah, well, that's the only reason I'm not pulling you in. But none of you leave Miami until I release you.
Oh, Lieutenant.
Yeah?
I don't want to appear to be interfering, but there's a man named Woolery.
I know all about Woolery. The New York police asked me to keep an eye on him and Landers.
Well, then it might interest you to know he checked out of the hotel shortly before we found the body.
It might interest you to know, Mr. Regan, that my men picked up Woolery at the airport and should have him back here in a few minutes. Now, look, why don't you all go to sleep and just dream that you're solving this case?
When Woolery gets here, bring him to the manager's office.
Well, you heard what the man said. Good night.
Why did you suddenly decide to catch a plane to New York?
I'd failed in what I'd come to do. I wanted to go home.
Is this $35,000 part of the stolen money?
No, I sold my home, cashed in some retirement insurance to raise that money.
You mean you thought you could pay Landers to change his testimony against your son?
But when you get desperate, a man with $200,000 doesn't risk it for 35.
You're sure he had the stolen money?
I'm sure.
And you didn't see him again after he refused the money?
No, I went to my room. I couldn't sleep. I called the airport. Space was available. The first I knew of the murder is when your men picked me up.
Who's that?
Hi, Lieutenant.
I thought I told you to go to bed.
Teacher's pet.
I had a hunch to check out first. The murder weapon, a .32 with a silencer.
Hey, where'd you find that?
In the dirty towel chute in the steam room. We checked that. There was nothing there. I got there first. You ought to know better than that. I ought to...
Now, wait a minute. He's only trying to help.
Ballistics. Have him run a fingerprint check first. I already did that. There's nothing on it.
Regan, I ought...
Good night, Lieutenant.
That's a funny man.
Am I under arrest?
No, but don't leave the hotel. That'll be all.
Yes, sir.
Good night, Mr. Wood.
Good night.
Well, Mike, what do you think?
I think it's time to go to bed. Good night, Will.
Mr. Shayne.
Oh, Mr. Woolery?
Mr. Shayne, I don't pretend to be sorry that Landers is dead.
Well, you've got company.
If the money Landers stole isn't recovered, my son will never be cleared.
What makes you so sure he stole it?
I know he did. If you could locate that money, prove Landers was the thief, I'd give you the $35,000.
My fees aren't quite that high.
Will you help me?
I'll sleep on it. Good night.
Good night. Something leaked. It's the pickle.
This pickle didn't leak.
How come?
Grace found this new clear stuff to wrap lunches in. Won't leak. Sandwiches taste better, too. Don't dry out.
That's right. Clear new Handy Wrap won't leak. Handy Wrap does make sandwiches taste better. Handy Wrap really locks in freshness. Watch. I'm pouring scalding hot coffee into this cup lined with Handy Wrap. Imagine what would happen to ordinary sandwich wrap. But with Handy Wrap, there's not a hint of a leak. Handy Wrap locks in freshness. Keeps sandwiches so fresh you can make them the night before. Giant 100-foot roll wraps 100 sandwiches, yet Handy Wrap is economically priced like wax paper. Yes, you get 100 feet of Handy Wrap economically priced like wax paper.
Handy Wrap, product of the Dow Chemical Company.
Sweetie. You're early. I was just getting the kinks out. Aren't you looking forward to Argentina, sweetie? I hear they've got a wonderful ballet down there. Oh, I thought you were my husband.
You, Floyd Lander's wife?
No, he's John Williams.
You mean this man married you as John Williams?
Well, we aren't exactly married yet.
Oh.
Just a technicality.
You didn't know his name was Floyd Landers, huh?
I knew it. But to me, he was John Williams. Has something happened to him?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. He was killed last night.
Killed? Golly. Poor Johnny. Just when he was about to realize himself.
So you were planning to go to Argentina, huh?
Flying out tonight. Are you a cop?
Private investigator. Mike Shayne.
I'm Bliss Joy.
It's an interesting name.
I picked it. It's more of an expression of my real self than the one my folks hung on me. Rosalie Porkerus. Who killed Johnny? Floyd.
No.
Violence attracts violence. That's what I kept telling him.
You a Miami girl?
I'm a citizen of the cosmic mind. I met Floyd in New York about 6 weeks ago.
How was he planning to finance your new life in Argentina?
I never worry about material things. Every minute spent thinking about money is a step away from spiritual realization.
Well, then I guess you wouldn't know anything about the missing $200,000.
Floyd had money. He was generous with it. That was enough for me. Gosh. You know, last night, before he crossed over, he was thinking about me. I won't have to give those clothes back, will I?
I couldn't say.
You know, I could have told you there wasn't 200 grand in here. Or maybe you think I got it on me.
No.
You after that 200 G's yourself?
No.
You know, it's a shame to let those 2 airline tickets go to waste.
Your interest in me is purely spiritual, I'm sure.
The minute I saw you, there was something. We must have known each other before. In another life.
I'm sure I would have remembered.
You had to go?
Well, I'll be back. In the meantime, you just sit tight and don't talk to strangers. You see, other people may be looking for that money, and they won't all be as spiritual as I am.
Mr. Shayne's office.
Hi, Lucy.
Oh, hi, Mr. Shayne. I was just reading Tim's story on the murder.
Yeah, look, did you ever get an answer on that phone number I gave you?
Oh, yes. It's a place called Personal Secretarial Service. They do phoning and mailing.
Well, what were they doing for Landers?
Well, he paid them to send a telegram a day for the next week to his office in New York.
Telegram a day.
Sounds to me like he wanted someone in New York to think he was still in Miami when he really wasn't.
Oh, you've got a flair, Lucy, a real flair.
I took down the messages he left with him. You want me to bring him over to the hotel?
No, you just sit tight. I'll call you if I need you.
Yes, sir.
Mike! Where have you been?
Hi, Will.
I said, where have you been? Your friends, including me, have been wondering where you disappeared to.
Why? Anything new?
Yeah. The ballistics report shows that the bullet was fired from the gun Regan found.
Anything else?
One thing. If you're a friend of mine and you have any feeling for me, will you get this pack of private eyes off my back?
Oh, sure, Will. Be glad to.
Thanks.
That is, everyone except me. Huh? You see, Woolery is my client.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. He wants me to find that missing money to clear his son. Now, I think...
Yeah, don't tell me. Let me guess. You think Landers had it?
That's the way it looks to me. But the question is, where is it now?
Maybe the killer has it.
Maybe. Or maybe Landers had it too well hidden.
We've been over his hotel room with everything but a Geiger counter.
Mind if I take a look?
Everybody else has. Might as well make it legal. Go ahead.
That's my boy. Don't be a bad loser.
I'm a trusting soul where you're concerned. Do you know where 1435 Adams is?
You know, I think I can get you a good buy on that vacant lot. Of course, you'd probably want to tear down that old billboard.
Very funny. You're onto something, aren't you, Mike?
Too early to say.
Mike, I'm going to level with you.
I'm listening.
I'm working for the insurance company that had to make good on that $200,000.
Hmm? Wouldn't be you who tore up this room and bugged it, would it?
Mm-hmm. They'll pay me 10% of all I recover. I'll split that with you, Mike, if we can work together.
Yeah, that's very generous.
My nature. What about it?
Let me think it over.
Why so cautious?
My nature.
Maybe you're also greedy. Planning to collect the 10% all by yourself?
Oh, now, Holly, I wouldn't do that to you. After all we've meant to each other.
Oh, I've been looking for you two. I want to invite you both to a little party in the men's gym this afternoon at 3:30.
Oh, what's the score?
I can't go to the men's gym. People might talk.
This'll be all right, Holly. Lieutenant Gentry is chaperoning. Remember, 3:30.
What's that all about?
Maybe you've been following the wrong man.
Maybe.
Sit down, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
Now maybe you'll tell me what this is all about, Lieutenant.
Mr. Regan's going to tell us all what this is about.
Right, Lieutenant.
Last night, Floyd Landers was killed in there. We know the attendant was called away by a fake emergency call. The killer must have gone in there fully clothed, because certainly he didn't have enough time to undress, shoot Landers, dress again, and then leave before the attendant came back. Let me have that. You recognize that smell?
Yeah, eucalyptus oil.
When did you smell it last?
In the steam room last night.
You know what happens when you step into a steamy room wearing glasses. The steam condenses on them, and it did on the killer's glasses. These lenses were wiped clean, but when I took them to the lab this morning, the lab report showed definite traces of eucalyptus oil on the frames. They're your glasses, Mr. Woolery.
Knew I'd be caught. I got rid of the young man, went in. I only meant to frighten Landers, but he wouldn't pay any attention to me. Refused to answer. I shot him.
Here's the lab report, Lieutenant. I guess that's it. And not quite.
Yeah, there is one small point, Vic. The reason Gentry was late, he was waiting for this.
Autopsy report. Landers was already dead when Woolery took his shot at him in there.
What?
If the shot didn't kill him, what did?
I found a small spot of blood on Landers' shirt. When the medical men checked, they found that Landers had been stabbed, probably an hour or more before he died.
Now, if he was stabbed an hour before he died, it could have happened anywhere.
No, Lieutenant. I followed him from here to the steam room. There was nobody else there.
Excuse me. Here I am.
Now, let her in.
Hello, Diane.
Hello, Mike.
Take over, Mike.
Come on over here a minute, will you, Diane? Now, you just sit down at the table here.
Sure, Mike.
I don't get it, Mike. She wasn't with us when Landers came in looking for trouble.
No, she was up on the stage, being bludgeoned.
Mm-hmm. But before you went up there, you took off your hat. Remember?
That's right, I did. How did you remember that?
Wonder if you'd try that again for us, please. Just the way you did. Go on.
Well, I took it off and put it on the table.
Murder weapon?
Mm-hmm.
My hat pin?
Sure fits the description.
That was my favorite hat. I'll never be able to wear it now without thinking of blood.
What happened then?
Then Diane left us and we saw Landers come in. That's when he was talking to you.
Then he came over to us.
He accused us of spying on him.
And then?
I told him to leave and that's when the fight started.
Where was the hat?
On the table?
But it got knocked down to the floor because after the brawl, I remember picking it up.
Yeah, Holly knelt down to see if she could help him.
That's right. And then you and Vic tried to lift him.
That's when Landers came to. He got to his feet and complained of the pain in his side.
And he had to be stabbed between the time he came to this table and the time he got to his feet.
I find it difficult to believe that a man could have that thing driven into him and still walk out of here.
People who've lived for more than 24 hours with a wound like that died and never even knew they'd been stabbed.
It must have been quite a shock for whoever did it to see him get up and stroll out of here.
Yeah, must have been.
All right, Mike. Any of us could have done it. Holly, when she was kneeling down beside him. Art or me when we tried to lift him. But why should we? Landers was a rat. And if I went around killing every rat I meet...
You've got to hate someone to take that kind of a risk.
When you come right down to it, I had the best reasons for hating Landers.
You all had a good reason. Besides any personal feelings you might have had.
What do you mean, Mike?
I mean, better men than Landers have been killed for far less than $200,000. He had it. Somebody else wanted it.
Well, what are you going to do about it? Put us all in jail?
There isn't enough evidence to put even one of you in jail. And thanks to Shayne, most I can book you for is a misdemeanor.
Lost. $200,000. Where is it, Mike? It isn't in this room. This place has been searched a dozen times by the police and who knows how often by independent operators.
Could he have stashed it in a bank?
Well, and where's the passbook?
Maybe a check room at an airport or railroad station.
It'd be some kind of a key or receipt.
Yeah.
Maybe he had a partner or a girlfriend. Just between you and me, he did.
Which?
Girlfriend. Landers isn't the kind of a guy that would have trusted anybody with that much dough.
Mike, there's one thing that bothers me about the money being the motive for the killing.
What's that?
Those three people are too smart to kill Landers before they found out where the money was.
Well, the killer could have had the money spotted, and then Landers could have switched hiding places.
You said he didn't leave the hotel last night.
That's right.
Then the money's got to be in the hotel. Unless he sent it out with somebody else.
Yeah. Let's check at the desk. You might have trusted a bellhop with a package.
If Mr. Landers had sent one of our on-duty bellboys on an errand outside the hotel, we'd have a record of it.
Yeah, I guess you would at that.
Of course, there are several outside messenger services. I'd be glad to give you their names.
Excuse me, is that fruit concession operated by the hotel?
Yes, but it's primarily a courtesy to our out-of-state guests. So many of them like to send oranges back to the folks at home.
I wonder if I could see Landers' itemized bill for yesterday.
Well,
It's important.
I guess so.
What's up? Just a hunch.
Might give.
Let's wait and see.
Shayne, I'd appreciate it if you look at this here. This is the only copy we have of it.
Bar, cleaning, phone, bar. Here it is, basket of fruit. He put that money in the basket and had it sent to his girlfriend.
Mr. Thompson was just as excited about it as you are.
Thompson?
When I showed him the original of this, I naturally expected he'd give it back to me, but instead he went running over to the fruit shop and then went rushing out of the hotel.
Thanks.
Two.
What are you going to do?
Calling that girl. Give me a dime, quick. KKK. Keeper Hotel.
What's the panic?
Thompson knows where that money is.
So?
Wait. Room 311, please. No, I'll wait. Here, the line's busy. And when she answers, tell her if she wants to stay alive, don't let anyone in that room except me.
What's her name?
Bliss Joy.
No. You keep trying. I'll wait.
Friend of Floyd Landers.
Floyd didn't have any friends.
Let me in. I'll tell you where he hid the money.
Excuse me.
Yeah, sure.
Hello?
Is this Bliss Joy?
Yeah?
I'm calling for Mike Shayne.
Oh, I was just dreaming about him. You know, our spiritual wavelengths must be the same.
You're in danger, Miss Joy. Don't let anybody into your room until...
What?
Miss Joy? Miss Joy?
Hey, get out of that Bon Voyage basket.
Miss Joy?
You heard the lady, Art. Out of the basket. Hang up.
Miss Joy?
Now get away from the phone. You too, Art. Back up.
Holly, all I want is the credit for finding that money. It'll put me back in business.
Sorry, Art.
odds are against you, Holly.
The odds weren't much when I stabbed Landers, but I got away with it. Maybe I'm on a lucky streak.
All right, Holly. Get rid of it. Sit. How bad is it, Art? She's a lousy shot. Better stick to hat pins, Holly. The reaction may be delayed, but the results are more lasting. What do you think you're doing?
Tidying up.
Better let Art do the tidying up. The way you're looking at that money, you're backing away from spiritual realization about 90 miles an hour.
You know, it's the story of my life. 1 minute a fistful of $1,000 bills. The next, a sour orange.
Come on, Holly. From next week's Michael Shayne mystery.
You took money from the hospital fund? Private investigator has the account books. A guy named Shayne. Barney, they'll throw me in jail.
Wait a minute, you've got company. Better wait here.
I'm sorry Barney mentioned about the divorce.
You were just driving along. Danny was singing so happy.
Stop it.
When did it happen, Will?
Sometime last night.
How'd he die?
How about telling me what brings you here?
I had an appointment with Danny.
This is more than Danny in the hospital. My neck is on the block, too. I'm a trustee.
Barney, don't!
I'd never be able to explain this away. The public doesn't care about good intentions.
Let go!
I want those books. The books.
This has been a 4-star production.